I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same.
Hey guys, it's Michelle and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. This is Mickey Lee Creates, and in today's video I will be sharing with you 4 of the dinners that we had this week. And I also would like to thank Simply Cool Things for sending me the utensil set you will see in this video, but I will get more into detail on that later. So first up is going to be a chicken kielbasa pasta. I was going to make this a Cajun pasta, but then just decided to go with like a simple Alfredo sauce. So first up, I will be cutting my kielbasa. I just cut it in rounds, I guess is what you could call it. I also like to fry up my kielbasa before I put it in with my pasta. You don't have to. You honestly could leave it just like this. I think it has more flavor if you fry it first. So completely up to you, personal choice. All right, and I have my pan heating up, and I'm going to go ahead and cut up my chicken breast. I do believe I only did 2, maybe 3, I can't remember, chicken breasts this night. It was, like I said, it's just my husband and I eating, and these chicken breasts, I did get them from Aldi, so they're pretty big. So I think I only did 2, to be honest. I cut them up, again, just into bite-sized pieces to kind of match the kielbasa. So I start with my chicken first because, of course, the kielbasa's already cooked. It's just browning it is basically what you're going to do. So I'm going to add my seasonings, which is salt, pepper, some master salt from Kinder's, my Italian spice mix that I absolutely love from Sons of Italy, and I have to get some more because I haven't. I think that might be my last one. Garlic powder, of course. And I'm not really sure. I think that might be it. That's the only thing that I think I've put in here. So I'm going to go ahead and let that cook in the pan for a few minutes. Oh, I added some butter. Okay, of course. I should have known that. So I did add some butter, a little bit more olive oil, and then I'm going to let that finish cooking. So once the chicken is pretty much all the way cooked through, I'm going to add my kielbasa in. And then, like I said, I'm just going to let that cook till it's brown and soaks up, starts to, not soak up, but with the kielbasa, that when it goes in there, it will help release some of the bits on the bottom where all the flavor is. So I made a traditional Alfredo sauce from Italy, not necessarily the Alfredo sauce that we use when we use cream here. I actually think I saw it on a TikTok video and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to try that because I'm not big on a heavy sauce. So I added butter. I reserved a cup of the pasta water before I drained it. Now here I'm going to add the butter, some of the pasta water, and some Parmesan cheese. You can use the shaky kind. That's what I used only because that's what I had. Or you can use shredded Parm. Either one would be fine. So I'm just going to keep stirring this until I get it the thickness that I want. So I'll just keep adding some cheese and then you'll see me add some water. I probably only used maybe a half a cup of water. It might have been less than that, honestly. It might have only been about a quarter. No, I think it was definitely more than a quarter, but less than a half, somewhere in the middle. So just keep stirring that until you get it the desired thickness, which is what I've done. And then I go ahead and add in my chicken and my kielbasa, and then I'll just mix that. And here it is all plated up. I just served it with some Italian bread. The sauce was really light, so the pasta wasn't heavy, which I absolutely love and will continue to do it like this from now on. So the next meal is beef tips with mashed potatoes. So I just start off making my mashed potatoes, mostly because that takes the longest. And I'm going to cut my potatoes into evenly sized pieces just so they cook faster. I don't think I used all of the potatoes. I probably used all but maybe 2. So I peeled more than what I needed. So I always like to add the water after I get my potatoes. That way I know how much water I have and I don't put too much in. And then I always heavily salt them while they're cooking. I don't add salt to my mashed potatoes after they're done cooking, so that's why I like to heavily salt them before. And then once they're done, I will drain them, and then I like to mash them without adding anything in first. I'm not sure if this is the right way or not, but it seems to be the only way that works for me, that I can get them not lumpy. So I'll go ahead and mash them pretty good, so they're pretty well mashed. But so then after that, I will go ahead and add in some butter. And I didn't have heavy cream this time around. I only had milk, so I just added milk to it with some butter and then some other seasonings. I do believe I show you what they are. have some olive oil and some butter to the pan. So I'm going to make string beans with this, and what I use are the steamable string beans, and I don't steam them for as long as you're supposed to. So I might put it in the microwave, I think, for about 2 minutes, and then I take it out, get my pan heated up with the oil and the butter, and then after I get that in there, I will add my string beans. So they're still crisp because I don't like them mushy, but I also like to put them in the pan. So I don't like them steamed out of the bag. I like to steam them for about 2 minutes and then stick them in my pan and cook them the rest of the way. So this is on a pretty higher heat. I do lower it just a little bit, but with the butter and the oil, it doesn't stick or anything like that. And honestly, they don't burn either. So I just keep stirring them, and then I'll add seasoning to it and then let them go until I like them at my desired texture. So you can cook them for as long or as little as you want. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and start with my beef tips, and I use London broil. It's what Walmart had when I did my grocery haul. I'm going to go ahead and put some olive oil and some butter in my pan and get it to a pretty high heat. I did cut my London broil and add garlic cloves into it, and I thought I recorded it, but I didn't. But I did that the night before and added some olive oil, salt, pepper. I did the Kinder's buttery seasoned blend, and then I think I did their Masters blend. So garlic, salt, pepper, several different seasonings. You can add whatever seasonings you want, and then I just let that marinate overnight, and then that way when I came home, it was ready to go. So I'll add my beef in as soon as my pan is hot enough, put it in there, and I cook it for no longer than 5 minutes. I did not make gravy with this. You absolutely could. I was being lazy, I was tired, and I just didn't really feel like doing it. But I will say, once you cook the meat, and there is juices all down at the bottom, with that butter, that olive oil, and the seasoning, it actually was really good, and it came out really nice, and it was exactly the right amount without being too heavy, if that makes any sense. I'm not really sure, and I apologize if it doesn't, but it worked out perfect. But you absolutely, if you want to make gravy, you definitely can make gravy. All right, and here it is, all plated up, served with the string beans and mashed potatoes. Really, really good. I'd like to jump in and just thank Simply Cool Things for offering to send me their 5-piece wooden utensil set. Of course I said yes, because who doesn't like to get things for their kitchen? So they sent this to me. It came pretty quick, and actually I have to say I'm really impressed with the actual product. So the first one I'm going to show you is going to be a rice paddle. It's a shorter spoon, as you can see, and more rounded. I have used it not for rice, but I've used it for some other things and absolutely loved it. The second one is a salad spoon, and then the salad fork for mixing salads. I haven't done that yet. That's not what I used it for. I've used it for mixing other things. They give you a strainer spoon. I don't believe I used this one at all yet. I haven't used it yet. And of course the spatula. They are all made of solid wood. So I think nicely made, if you ask me. The set is $29.99 and you can buy it on Amazon. So this is some of the stuff that they have on their website, and I just went to Simply Cool Things, hit products on Amazon, and then it brings up everything that they sell on Amazon. And of course, one of the first things you'll see is the kitchen utensil set. I absolutely love it. I think it's very comfortable to use. It's made of solid wood. And if you leave it on your pan or your pot, and let's say you walk away and get distracted, for one, you won't burn yourself as you would with a metal utensil, and then possibly your plastic one will start to melt. Not saying that's going to melt completely, but still warm up enough. I would highly recommend them. $29.99. Take advantage of the 10% discount that they're offering. And then if you have Amazon Prime, of course, it's free shipping. So thank you, Simply Cool Things, for sending me this, and I really appreciate it. So guys, take advantage of it, and I would go buy it. So next up is Crock-Pot Cowboy Stew, or casserole, however you want to call it. I've made this in the past, and it's one of a family favorite. My husband absolutely loves it. So I'm going to cut up some potatoes. I don't know how many I did, probably 5 or 6, something like that. So cut them up into small pieces. Now, usually, I think I just added, I can't remember what I've added before, but I know I did an onion this time. So potatoes and onion, which I know I've probably done that before, but potatoes, onions, but this time I had some celery that needed to be used up, so I diced that up really small and put that in there just so it wouldn't go to waste. And honestly, when it cooks in the crock pot, you can't taste it anyway. So if you don't like celery, you will not taste it even if you use it. So you'll see me dice up my potato, my onions, and my celery, and then I'll put that all in a bag, one of my plastic bags, and let that marinate, oh my goodness, overnight, and then that way it's ready to go for the next morning. So the next morning, I spray down my crock pot and I add my ground beef into the crock pot uncooked. If you prefer to cook it, you can absolutely cook it the night before if you want to brown it, or if you work from home or you stay at home, you can do it in the morning. It doesn't really matter. But if you want to cook it the night before, you can. If you don't, then you can do it this way. Some people don't like the texture of ground beef cooked in a crock pot, and some don't like it because it may make it a little greasy. I don't think it makes it that way, but that's just what I feel. So you do it the way you want to do it. I do it this way just for convenience, and it really doesn't matter. And I don't mind the texture. I think it tastes really good. So I'm going to just break this up, and then I added some seasoning to it. You can keep it as little or as big as you want. I think I did mine into like medium, just so it wasn't like huge chunks in there. Then I'm going to add all the veggies that I cut up the night before and let marinate. And mix all that up. And then I do add a can of diced tomatoes. It says petite. You could use either or. Petite was just what I had in my pantry. I don't drain those. I do liquid and all for that. And then I do add corn. That one I did drain, but you don't have to. I just did. I don't know why I did. I don't know. And then of course you're going to add cream of mushroom. I only use 1 can. If you want to use 2, you can. Like I said, this is all personal preference to you. I'm fine with 1. It covers, it's enough. It's perfect for what we need. So I'll just mix all that up. I don't add any more seasoning once I season the ground beef, and then all the seasonings that's from the potatoes and the onions that I had in there. Cover it, and I cook mine. Sorry for all that movement right there. I apologize. I think I had it for 7 hours on low, and it just cooked all day long. I think I started this around 7 in the morning, and I get home usually about 4:30. So this is what it looks like. Like I said, some people don't like that little bit of grease, but I don't mind it. So I just served this with some Italian bread. My husband likes cheese and sour cream on his, and I just like cheese on mine. So the last meal is chicken Caesar wraps, and I added bacon to this. And I'll just let this play through. It's pretty self-explanatory to what I'm doing, but I do like to cook my bacon in the air fryer, and then I show you how I do that. I do want to say that I did warm my tortillas probably in the microwave for about 10 seconds or so, although it didn't seem to really help me much there, as I did still rip. But I'm not very good at wrapping tortillas. I'm just not. So I served this with a creamy parm Sudley salad. It's the boxed pasta salad, and instead of adding mayo, I like to add creamy Caesar dressing to it, stick it in the refrigerator and let it cool for, however long it takes you to make the rest of the meal. So it turned out really good. Simple meal, but delicious. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you stayed to the end, I really do appreciate you. As always, have a great rest of your day. Bye.